Hi, I am Emily Black, and I feel like I've never really introduced myself before. And now that this podcast is just me, I feel like now's the time to say hi. I am 26 years old. I moved cross country multiple times throughout my life, and once again, I'm in a spot where I am starting all over. For those who don't know, I love reinventing myself. I love starting over. I love doing things that are new. But I also, fun fact, hate change. Now you may be wondering, Emily, how does that make sense? It doesn't. It doesn't. But I like when change is up to me. And it hasn't always been up to me. This most recent change, Ashlyn has decided to take a step back from the podcast. It's just not something she wants to have in her life anymore. She is still my best friend. She's still the biggest fan of this podcast. And I'm scared to do this alone. I had like a whole heart to heart with her. Am I even cool enough to do this? Like, when I think of my friendship with Ashlyn, she's the coolest part of it, not me. She is my better half. And now it's just me. So that could be scary. That could deter me. But I've decided this isn't stopping me. I have so much more to talk about. I have so much more left to say and to share. And I have a huge journey in front of me. And I'm cool enough to do it on my own, which is crazy to think about, but I am. I'm cool enough to do this alone. I'm strong enough to do this alone. And Ashlyn agrees. So it, don't be shocked if you hear her on future podcasts because she's still my best friend. And that girl knows me probably better than most people in the entire world. She'll be stopping by here and there, but she wanted to take a step back from sharing so much online. That being said, I've kind of done the opposite. I am now online more than ever before in my life. I have an LLC. I have certifications to be a wellness and nutrition coach. And though wellness and nutrition and growth is going to be a huge topic in this podcast, it's not the entirety of who I am. So don't freak out, y'all. This is not changing into some follow what I do because I have it all figured out. Because I don't. I still don't have things figured out. I'm not sure if I ever will have things figured out. But I am probably the best cheerleader. I'm the best person to have on your side to support you for your goals and your dreams. And that doesn't have to be in a coaching setting. You can ask any one of my friends, any of my past teachers, any of my past classmates, coworkers. I am someone who loves loudly and proudly, and I'm devoted to being me. Devotion, that is actually the word of my year for 2026. Something about me is that I've had a word of the year for as long as I could remember. It's something that I used to search it up with my mom growing up. And as I've become an adult, I like the fact that I can pick a word at the end of December, early January, strive to have that word be who I am or what I've done for the year. I would love to reflect on some of those words that I've had for the past years and kind of what I've learned on each of them. Here's what I've got. Okay. And they're kind of fun and they're kind of goofy and I learned a lot. But is that not just the motto of my life? Is that I am just constantly learning. In 2023, I had the word bloom. It was a word that I picked um, while I was working on my bachelor's degree. I was super disheartened to be back at the school that had once kicked me out. And if you want to hear more on that, we could definitely have a few guest episodes on me being kicked out of school and where I've been since then. But I just felt so disheartened to have to start all over. But I chose to see that year as an opportunity to grow and to bloom where I was into the version I wanted to be. And I did that in 2023. In 2024, I wanted my word to be intentional. Whatever I was doing in 2024, it would be with a purpose. It was my last year around some of my favorite people. I knew that I was going to be moving cross country to getting to grad school and be closer to my family over here. And so I knew that the time that I had left in the same state as my friends and a lot of my family was to be intentional with that time. And I did that in 2024. In 2025, I picked the word build. I knew I wanted to build a life that I was happy with. I really lost myself in a lot of jobs that I had last year in 2025. And even when I was at my lowest, I was still building to the person I am today. Which brings me back to 2026. The word that I picked was devotion. I am devoted to live fully for my causes, for my passions, for myself for the first time ever. And I don't know, I'm kind of excited and nervous to see how this will all come to be. When I think of these words, sometimes I forget halfway through the year, you know, like build. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to build muscle. That was my first intention with it. And did I? Yeah, obviously. You should see my biceps. And then December came around and I realized I did build a lot. I built a lot for my future and for myself that I didn't do intentionally, but it was still something that I did. So what is in for 2026? I think the biggest thing for me for 2026 is advocating for myself and for others. It's something that I love doing. It's something I'm passionate about. One of those things that I did was already this year was I had a sit down talk with Ashlyn and I asked her where she was at. And she said, I could do this podcast because I said I would. I'll do it. And I said, but do you like doing it? Do you love doing it like I do? And not to compare, but like, does this bring you any joy, any happiness? Or is it completely gone? And she was like, I'll do it. And I said, I'm not okay with you just doing something you don't want to do. And even though it's uncomfortable to have to start over by myself, she would do the same for me in a heartbeat. Because that's my girl. That's my dog. That's who I ride for. So even when things are uncomfortable, I definitely think that advocating for yourself and for others is totally in this year, which obviously brings me to my next one. Something that's out for 2026. Ooh, girl, being a doormat. And I'm speaking to myself. Speaking straight to myself. Being a doormat is out. It's not cute. I'm not sure being a doormat was ever cute, but best believe I had that down locked. Okay? I am a people pleaser. I let people walk all over me, especially those I care about. But that is out for 2026. You've got to stand up for yourself. Something that's in for 2026 is choosing me, choosing myself and my dream. Life is too short to sit around and do things that, not just things you don't want to do, but just things that you are doing for someone else to make them happy. I'm not saying don't be selfless. I'm not saying don't help other people at all. But what I am saying is, in the grand scheme of things, is what you're doing right now with your life for you, or is it for someone else? Are your dreams and your steps forward for you or for someone else? And this year, it's in to choose you and your dreams and not be ashamed of them. That's in. Something that's out for 2026 is that being small is health. It is healthy. Um, you can be fit, you can be healthy in just about any body shape. My smallest that I've ever been was not the healthiest I've ever been. And so even though the world is constantly on a fat phobic kick, um, and skinny talk and a lot of weight is worth mentality out there right now, it is out. That's out for me. Y'all can keep thinking on that alone. I'm gonna be over here loving myself and not shaming myself. But thank you so much. Um, which also brings me into another thing that's out is that self-care is selfish. Sorry, that loving myself and caring for myself is seen as something affecting anyone else. Hello. I'm not saying you should become a hermit or a bad friend or anything like that, because you should prioritize everything that you're doing ever always. It's not what I'm saying at all. But you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Something that I think should be in 2026, colorful nails and colorful clothing and whimsical. I just got a new tattoo a couple weeks ago. Not sure if y'all can see it. It's a flower dancing with a fairy. I think this year needs to be whimsical and fun and joyful. And for me personally, color does that. Am I sitting here in a black outfit? Yes. Do I also have fun in everything I'm wearing? Yeah. I have a hat that literally says, "Love everyone." I got fun bracelets on and rings, and I didn't paint my nails yet, but just know that the first set that I'm doing this year is going to be colorful because life is too short to be stuck in neutrals. Unless you want to be, which I will try really hard not to. Sometimes neutrals look really great on people. I just think life should be more fun sometimes. Life is really hard. So why not wear colorful things? I don't know about you, but it brings me joy. Another thing that is in 2026, home cooked meals. I'm talking baking, I'm talking cooking, I'm talking being a little chef in the kitchen, meal prepping, being creative, trying out new recipes. That is so in 2026 because food is awesome and there's so much opportunity there to have fun and to try new things. And that's something that I am definitely taking into account for my 2026. I cooked a lot last year and I really enjoyed trying new things. So I'm keeping that up for 2026. Something that I think is out, and y'all may cancel me for this, but that's okay. I think high caffeine needs to get out. I think it should leave. Okay, because again, speaking for myself, I personally, when I have some caffeine, specifically coffee, I feel like a chihuahua. I don't find it fun or cute. I love the taste of coffee. My favorite coffee is espresso. It's Bustelo. It's strong as hell, and I love it. But having high caffeine and feeling like I'm on the verge of an anxiety attack every 2 seconds is just not cute. And I would like to slow down this year. So for me, high caffeine is out. Bye, girl. Bye, girl. A few more things that are in. Movement is medicine and motion is lotion. And you made me thinking, Emily, what the hell are you talking about? I find joy in movement. It doesn't always have to be at the gym, lifting a lot, or running a marathon, or running outside in the snow. Like, I I'm a pro at Just Dance, okay? And if you know me from middle school, you know just how good I am at Just Dance. If you're one of my siblings or my cousins, you know how good I'm at Just Dance. I love dancing. I love having fun. And I'm going to be moving my body more in whatever way I want to because movement is medicine. It's really good for you. I don't have to get into the logistics for you to believe me because I don't know if you will, but just know it does a lot, not just for your body, not just for your, cardiovascular system, but even your brain and your learning and your mental health. So, for me personally, something that's in is moving more and having fun with my movement. I'm not shaming myself into doing anything this year. I'm having fun. So, another fun thing that I think is in 2026 ventures with friends, and that's trying out new cafes with my bestie, Elon, um, going to concerts, trying anything new with friends to just experience something. Like me and Elon send each other recommendations for different foods in the DC area. Oh, for those who are listening, I live in the Northern Virginia DMV area, kind of. A little southern than that. But I check out DC and the DMV area often. For those who didn't know. And probably my last out this year is influenced by my best friend Ashlyn, and that is that self-deprecation and inconsistency is out for 2026. I want to be consistent in my morals, in my promises, in my behaviors, especially, obviously, the good ones. And self-deprecation, not good. It's not cute. It's not nice. It's not fun. In 2026, I'm just going to get cuter and more fun and awesome and sexy and beautiful. And I already am those things, but 2026, I think we're peaking this year. I was just talking to Ashlyn a couple days ago, and she was like, "Girl, you're so old." Which, whatever. Mm, And I said, "Don't say that because I haven't peaked yet. I didn't peak in high school. I didn't peak in college. I have not peaked yet, right?" So this year, I am going to just keep climbing and just be happy and fun and joyful and advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves or even those who can. I'm going to ride or die for my friends and causes that I care about and things I'm passionate about. And I'm going to keep loving loudly and not be ashamed of that. There have been so many times for so many years I've been called dramatic, emotional, too much. Am I too much, or are you not enough to see that I am just right? But y'all don't want to talk about that yet. Y'all don't want to get into that. I don't know. I want to keep this podcast what it was from the beginning, and that was being genuine, having genuine conversations, and learning to love yourself, doing things even when you're tired, doing things even when you're sad, when you're alone. Do it anyway. The world is sad. It is hard out here. It is depressing. I want to love more. I want to experience more for myself, for my friends, for my family, for my communities. I want to do more, and I'm devoted to do more for myself and for others. So, if you are interested in honestly listening to listening to me yap about anything and everything under the sun, I have so many stories. I have so many lessons I still need to learn and I'd love to share. I have a lot of flaws. Only one, really, no, but I am flawed. And I think the more isolated we are, the worse we are. And so I want to share every single part of this. So, my name is Emily, and I go by Ems, Emmy, Emelita, um, Emma to some. And I am known for being Little Miss Sunshine and Little Emotional and Little Miss Dramatic and Crybaby and being too much and too loud and goofy and annoying. And I am learning to not give a fuck about that. To do it anyway. So, if you're interested in doing it tired, doing it sad, doing it alone, doing it anyway, and you want to grow with me and yap with me and join this little fun, whimsical dream of a world that I am building, continuing to build this year. Next week, I will be talking more about my vision board for 2026, and I would love to talk to you guys about it. I'm on all social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I have a website. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I invite you to take what you need, leave what you don't, and until next time, keep showing up for yourself. I'll see you next Friday. Bye!